Thank you all for joining. It's a great pleasure to share with you the exciting story of IMMvention Therapeutix. Our mission is to control this fire called inflammation. It causes rheumatic diseases in our families, veterans, even children with various forms of systemic arthritis. This inflammation is also at the root cause of neurodegenerative diseases. Together, these diseases represent huge unmet needs and markets. CDC estimates that in 20 years from now, there will be an unimaginable 75 million people, 1/4 of the US population affected by these inflammatory diseases. We are on an urgent mission to target pathways that are common in these diseases, pathways called the inflammasomes. Inflammasomes are large protein complexes that assemble in the immune cells to activate and release cytokines such as IL-1 beta and IL-18 that eventually cause cell death and further spread inflammation. Our mission is to stop the production of these cytokines and prevent the spread of inflammation. There are several inflammasomes activated, for example, NLRP3, AIM2, P1, C4, and others in many diseases. These lead to production of cytokines that cause the inflammation, as I mentioned. Now, directly inhibiting cytokines is a validated strategy with approved anti-IL-1 biologics from Amgen, Novartis, and Regeneron. But these only neutralize IL-1 beta and are expensive injectable biologics. They do not inhibit IL-18 and, of course, do not stop cell death, so inflammation continues. With these limitations, there is great interest to go upstream and inhibit the inflammasomes directly to stop the production of cytokines. In fact, these first-generation companies acquired by large pharma are in early stages of development, but they only inhibit one inflammasome, NLRP3. They do not inhibit AIM2, P1, or C4, and thus these inflammasomes continue to produce cytokines and cause inflammation in certain diseases. To address this unmet opportunity, we have developed a differentiated strategy and discovered first-in-class novel therapies that are pan-inflammasome inhibitors for more effective control of inflammation. This table shows some of the diseases where multiple inflammasomes are involved. With the time we have today, I'll show you some information on just one disease you have probably never heard of, called systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis. SJIA is a rare disease affecting children as early as 2 years of age, and the disease could last into adulthood. Kids have frequent fever, rash, joint pain, and devastating quality of life. About 30% are at risk of macrophage activation syndrome that could cause death. It's a disease that involves 3 inflammasomes, and current treatments, as I mentioned, are only IL-1 beta and other biologics. In fact, some are daily injections. Imagine how horrifying daily injections are for these kids. So there is a huge unmet need for an oral drug, one drug that could inhibit both IL-1 beta and IL-18. Thus, we're developing novel drugs as solutions for these patients. We were initially funded by NIH and the great North Carolina Biotechnology Center. We've recently secured our first venture financing of $4.4 million from Osage, Hatteras, and Alexandria to reach lead candidate stage. Selecting lead candidates will significantly change our inflection point and de-risk the program that would enable large Series A at the end of next year. That Series A would advance us into the clinic for at least one rare disease. While we're focused on rare disease, we would also explore partnerships with large pharma for these large prevalent indications and position us for exit via M&A or IPO. To reach our goals, we have an exceptional diverse team. Professor Jenny Ting here at UNC is a world-leading inflammasome researcher. Our drug discovery team and advisors bring decades of experience developing many drugs at recognizable pharma and biotechs. As for myself, this is my 6th biotech company over the last 25 years with multiple exits. Most recently, I secured the first financing for Ribometrix. Besides the team, We're excited that clinicians at leading medical centers are studying our molecules in their disease models. Also, we're working with patient foundations such as Systemic JAI Foundation to understand patient needs as we progress into the clinic. So join us to extinguish this inflammatory fire. We are seeking clinicians and researchers with disease models in inflammatory diseases, as well as we'll be starting our Series A roadshow end of this year. Together, we can create long-term value and help all of humankind. Thank you.